The more you believe in conspiracies, the lesser you believe in facts, giving the perception that the Western media is giving the facts and anybody exposing their lies and deceptions is a conspiracy theorist. Said that we are conspiracy theorists and we are always blaming the others for our mistake without looking at the problem that we have within ourselves. We definitely and totally acknowledge the faults and the mistakes within our political, judicial and economic model and our social disorder that we are facing. But we also know that if Pakistan is left alone, we can manage our problems. But the involvement of foreign forces is so extensive into Pakistan because of our geopolitics, because of our physical location, because of our ideology, because of being a only Muslim nuclear state. The Russians, the Chinese, the Indians, the Israelis, the Arabs, the Iranians, Americans, every axis is so heavily involved into our politics. They actually fund groups in political party. They fund religious groups on ground. The separatist and insurgent movements that are being run in Pakistan are getting the support from Afghanistan. To say that all this problem is our homegrown and we can manage, we should be able to blaming ourselves for it, it would be rather naive and simplistic. When they say, the more you believe, especially coming from the Western media, when they say the more you believe in facts, giving the perception that the Western media is giving the facts and anybody exposing their lies and deceptions is a conspiracy theorist. And the fact that people listen to us is simply because Pakistan, everybody has been deceiving them, everybody has been breaking their trust, everybody has been cheating them. From the politicians to the media to the thinkers, even to the religious scholars. We are exposing the secrets, we are exposing the dirty games, we are exposing the covert operations.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
"9/11 has been the most debated issue globally. The media talks about Twin Towers falling down, and nobody talks about a third World Trade Center building, World WTC-7 also being brought down in a controlled demolition the next day. The Americans, the FBI, the CIA have still not started any trial of 9/11 accusing bin Laden as to be the prime suspect. Even if you go on the FBI website and you find so many most wanted including bin Laden, the list of crimes does not include his participation in so-called 9/11. They may add that after our interview. But the point is, till now it was not there. When FBI was asked why you're not mentioning bin Laden as the 9/11 perpetrator, they said we don't have enough proof to do that. And the fact of the matter is they have declared a war on a country, annihilated it. Just like on the perception of weapons of mass destruction, they destroyed Iraq completely. And later on, the world realized that there were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. It was only a propaganda ploy. Saying that America lied on Iraq is not a conspiracy theory. Saying that America is lying on 9/11 is not a conspiracy theory. Saying that America is looking for pretexts and excuses to wage wars in the Middle East, in the greater Middle East, to divide Middle East further into smaller states is no more conspiracy theory. These are written, documented military strategies now exposed by their own people. The fact is that since our people and our media normally do not read, we are not well-read people. So what happens is we do not know what the latest research coming out in the Western media. So when somebody picks them up and brings them out in front of you, people either go into a state of disbelief or debunk him as a conspiracy theorist. You see, my Afghan experience, my fighting against the Soviets for 6 years is what transformed me into what I am today. There's no doubt about this. Afghanistan was the battleground for the superpowers at that time. History was in the making. It was a watershed of history at that time. I was in the middle of it. As a youngster, went through all the experiences. We saw the global conspiracies, we saw the superpower confrontation, we saw the fomentation of various political, religious thought process. And obviously, those were not conspiracies. We were living through that. These are complex phenomena. They don't have simple answers. And unless you live through them, only through academics and reading books, you cannot get the pulse and feel of it. How do we react when people accuse us, people make fun of us, humiliate us? We take it in our stride. We simply ignore them. Simply because the mission that we have taken upon ourselves, the work that we are doing, every day our voice is reaching out to millions. It is often said that we are anti-Indian, anti-Jewish, we are anti-American. Nothing can be further from truth. We are against the political ideology and doctrines of those states. Speaking against the neocon evangelical Christian Zionist foreign policy is not anti-Americanism. Speaking against the Zionist policies of the Israeli state is not speaking against the Jewish people. There are so many Jewish people who are against the Israeli state themselves. We have taken up the causes of the Dalits and the Shudras and the scheduled castes and the Sikhs and the Tamils and the Naxalites. We are not against the Indian people. We are against the Zionist policies of the Brahman elite. Democracy in the modern world today is the most radical political philosophy, most violent. You will be surprised. But the fact of the matter is that since Second World War, post Second World War, the democratic countries have killed over 100 million people in various wars, fought globally all over the world. The winless wars, the pharmaceutical mafia, the drug mafia, the way they control the food supply, the way they're subsidizing the food crops and creating the genetically modified crops and destroying the civilization, agriculture and food chains of the poorer countries in Africa and rest of the world. The way they're controlling the retroviral drugs and letting millions die through AIDS. We are talking about the examples shown by the so-called democratic states today. Let's go back into history and see when Islam was a political force, how did they behave? In Andalusia, in Spain, Islam ruled for 800 years. The most tolerant, most brilliant, most innovative, progressive, dynamic, scientific civilization humanity has ever seen for 800 years in Spain. In the modern age, as we have said, people have stopped reading. People have started watching. They're watching more television. And that is where if the mind control game goes on. Because that's where the perception management, that's where the images, that's where the shuffling of signs and symbols and images actually start to program your collective psyche. That's where you're made to believe that Muslims are extremists. That's where you're made to believe that Muslims have no contribution to science. You're made to believe that if a Muslim political thought process comes, it would only mean cutting hands and beating people with sticks. That no reference is made to the most glorious and brilliant civilizations which showed the light to humanity for hundreds of years. To say that Islamic civilization is the best for a Muslim, for me, yes, it would be a statement to make. But addressing to non-Muslims, I would tell them, invite them to come and do a comparative analysis. Open your mind, study. See how the civilization was. Let's not close your minds. Because what is happening is that even for the Western world, for non-Muslim world, a massive gross injustice is being done to them because they are not being given the option to compare. Even if the Jews come with such a system, I'll be more than happy to accept it. If Hindus come with such a system, I'll be more than happy to accept it. We are needed. These lone voices are required. We are never too many. At least it proves one point, that we are hitting them where it hurts most, and we love our job.